Hello guys. I'm Nigist presenting you educational training and situational events with Nigist Media. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and click the bell sign of the channel to have a quick access with the videos which is uploaded with the media. Here in this video, I will present you a basic and interesting issue which is qualitative research, its concept, type, and challenges to conduct qualitative research. Let me proceed with the conceptual part of my presentation, which is qualitative research. Qualitative research by concept is a market research method that focuses on obtaining data through open-ended and conversational communications. Qualitative research is the most interesting and difficult research method or approach because it is time consuming and concerned with individual subjective and natural environment and cultural concerns. Qualitative research is based on a discipline of social science like psychology, sociology, and anthropology, so that this is concerned or advised to be applied by these individuals or socialists to use this method to conduct their researches. Qualitative research allows the researcher to access an in-depth investigation of situations to understand the motivation of and feelings as well as how audiences take decisions in a way that can help drive conclusion with the market in general. Qualitative research by nature allows the researcher to have a detailed access about the thinkings, feelings, and the decision techniques of the target audiences. So they can have a detailed understanding about the audiences and the events of the situation. Qualitative research reveals behavior and perception of target audiences with reference to a particular topic. In collecting data, which is to be used as an input to conduct qualitative research, there are different techniques of data collection. From these detailed techniques, one-to-one interview, focused group discussion, ethnographic research, case study research, record keeping, and process of observation are basic issues or methods used to gather qualitative data that researchers here are advised to use according to the situation that they are analyzing. Let me proceed my detailed explanation with each method of data collection of qualitative research. The first technique to collect qualitative data is one-to-one interview. It is a personal interview carried out with one respondent at one time using a face-to-face conversation method, and it invites usually an opportunity to get a detailed and depth answer or information from the respondents about the event or the situation. The second technique used to gather qualitative data is focused group discussion. Here it is the most commonly method used to collect qualitative data that can enable the researcher to gather data from limited number of respondents, usually from the respondents like 6 to 10 respondents within the target market. So a limited number of respondents are accessed or invited to have a group discussion about the event or the situation for a certain period of time so that they can provide generalized and concluded information for the events or the situation to the researcher. Focused group discussion is the most expensive method to gather data compared to the other type of data collection. And this method allows to have detailed information through a deep explanation of complex cases. So researchers can have detailed information or clear understanding about the complex issues while using this technique to collect data from the respondents. Ethnographic research is the next type or technique used to gather data from the respondents to be used as an input in conducting qualitative research. and it is the most observational method that studies people in their natural occurring environment. This type of method or technique is usually generalized or seems as time consuming, that lasts from few days to a year, which is looking like a challenging to gather data with a limited period of time. Ethnographic research is targeted at understanding culture and challenges, as well as motivations and settings of the occurs and events through adapting the audience's environment. Case study research is the next technique to gather data. It is a method that has evolved over the past few years and developed into a valuable research method in applied areas of education and social science. It is a technique that is allowed to have access in area of education and social science, and it is one of the simplest way in conducting research through a deep and thorough understanding of the events and situations. This type of technique is usually looking challenging and difficult to operate due to the complexity in nature of the individual's culture and environment. The next technique used to gather data is record keeping. This is the simplest way to have information about the event or the situation from documented data, and this ensures the use of already existing reliable document and similar sources of information, like referring the data from the library. Process of observation is the next technique and the last technique which is used to gather data from the respondents. It is a technique that uses a subjective methodology to gather data systematically using 5 major sensory organs of the human beings, like their functioning of sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing of the individual's environment and thinkings. This method is primarily used to equate the quality difference of respondents through respondents' characteristics and through using the human subjective methodologies to equate the various and different characteristics of individuals. Challenges of qualitative research. Scholars are generalizing or referring that this type of research is challenging enough due to different variables and individual characteristics looking like in conducting this type of research. There are many challenges that scholars finding or forwarding about the environment that individuals or researchers are facing in conducting this type of research. The first challenge is that lack of homogeneity in data. Data are gathered from different individuals so that it cannot be different or similar in idea. Different individuals forward their understanding from their viewpoints, and it cannot be homogeneous enough. It cannot be similar. It is different according to the characteristics of the individuals and target audiences' viewpoints and understandings of the events and the situations. Different individuals with different understanding will reflect their idea differently so that they cannot deliver similar information about the event or certain situation or problems. Differential perspective is the next challenge. Different individuals have different perspectives, so they are responding differently due to the different or varies in understanding of the environment or the events. This finding is the next challenge of qualitative research. Finding by nature in qualitative research is usually ambiguous because the required data is gathered from a limited number of target audiences or respondents, and generalizing about the whole population with limited data from the limited respondent will be ambiguous by nature. That will not be clear enough. Because different individuals have different issue, and they could not have a similar understanding about the events and characteristics about that situation, because different individuals can understand or respond about the different situation and nature of their environment. These individuals are responding in different way, while researchers are trying to generalize about the whole population with limited information, will result in ambiguous or a difficult result with the population enough. High level of subjectivity is the next concern and challenge about this qualitative technique of research. Individuals by nature are subjective, and they understand the events with their subject matter and their understanding. So the data that is being collected from this individual will have subjectivity by nature, and it cannot be similar enough to allow the researchers to conclude about the whole population with this very and subjective data. Loss of manipulated data as response is next challenge. It is time consuming to have manipulated response and to have a similar response from the respondents. So researchers cannot have access for manipulated responses from the data and from the respondents of limited number of individuals. Qualitative data by nature is remaining non-judgmental in collecting data and concluding about the situation and the event. Researchers cannot use the judgmental issue and thinking of the users because different individuals have a different understanding and different characteristics that they have the access to detailedly explain differently about the event and the situation. So researchers cannot use judgmentally or their understanding, their viewpoints to generalize about the events and the thinkings of the respondents in a limited time period. This is all about my today's presentation, and my next video I will come with other interesting points. Thank you for following me, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment, as well as clicking the bell sign of this channel so that you can have a quick access for the videos which is being uploaded with this channel.